idea is to be in step, in sync with what God wants for your life, in your relationships, in your finances, in so many different areas in your life.
I am a professor.
Fish sandwich from McDonald's. You like that? Why?
Because that sounds disgusting.
My name is Scot Mendenhall. Welcome to Unlock Church's YouTube channel where we're talking about rhythm, being in sync with God, a teaching series at Unlock Church. Here's the premise of this new series we're going to take probably up to Mother's Day. Excited about it. The idea is to be in step, in sync with what God wants for your life, in your relationships, in your finances, in so many different areas in your life. And there are so many more we're going to talk about. Those are the first two that came to my mind. But rhythm is important. One week we're going to talk about chasing rhythm versus balance in my life. I don't have really good, maybe you've ever said this, I don't have good work, family life balance right now. And the pitfall to achieving balance is that's stressful. Like if I asked Haley, have you ever spun any plates on a stick?
No.
Wait, I like how you had to think about this for a second. Like, was there?
But I have juggled.
Yeah,
so
she can
that's
juggle.
like.
But juggling and this plate spinning thing are very, very different.
Yeah, I've never done that.
Okay, but could you sense the stress there would be? Let's say you got to get 5 fine china glasses to spin, or plates made out of glass.
Yeah.
Of all of us here, though, I think Haley could
You do?
be the one to
Yeah, I
do
would
it.
definitely not
You
trust
think?
you, Lily.
No
with
way.
it. No
I
way.
couldn't even spin one plate. But that looks
that's
stressful,
great.
too, in itself.
But isn't that how we see people do life? Is they're trying to have this balance that they're trying to balance all of these things, and then you have to run around and spend a little bit of time here and here. And maybe so many of you are in that season. You're like, that's it. That's me. We're going to try to give you a week by week, step by step, aligning your life back into rhythm with God. Haley, can we hear your resume? Like, what are some of your talents that you possess?
Okay.
Let's just hear
I
it.
am a professor.
Yeah, let's applaud that.
Yeah,
None of us are
well done.
professors.
You don't have to applaud that.
We do, we have to.
I played piano.
Oh, yeah, a musician.
Yeah.
Applaud.
Yeah.
I sing.
Oh, my goodness, this is amazing. You're full of talent. This is great.
Juggle.
Oh, I can play the French horn. I can juggle.
Look at this. The resume is just ridiculous. Okay, all right, that's fair.
It's a few things.
And she's so sweet.
You heard her resume. French horn. She can sing and play the piano. Oh my goodness, she's rock star status. Haley.
She is.
She's shaking her head over there. She is the most humble person in the room at the moment.
For sure.
For sure. I mean, and we have our daughters on the other side. Haley she's most talented in the room, but so humble about it. And we applaud your humility. We're here for it.
She's like, where are you going?
Where are we going?
What are you
Let's get to the
No.
wide shot here. With this moment, I need your help here because Holly, she is a wannabe musician. I taught her how to play bass. Lily, not even close to being a musician. Mm-mm. Like, she sings in the office, but she's one. You ever notice you're like a one-line singer? Like the song's going, and all of a sudden she randomly sings one line. Right? You know that.
You don't deserve more.
I don't.
Not
so I
yet.
get the one sense. Wow, way to
Not
make
yet.
it personal. Okay. So I needed a musician here to help to experience being out of rhythm. So I brought my guitar today.
Oh.
Ooh,
Okay.
this
So
is new.
what
We've
we're gonna do
never done
is-
this before.
I'm going to play, and you need to clap out of rhythm.
Okay.
Or actually, I might be out of rhythm, and you be on rhythm, but no one will ever know.
Okay.
People
that
are
it's
going to be
me.
like, I didn't know you could play the
Okay,
guitar.
so I'm playing. You're going to show us what it is to be out of rhythm. And who
right.
knows if this is too loud for all of you at home. We're sorry. We're flying by the seat of our pants here.
Wow.
Okay, you feeling the rhythm?
That doesn't sound right.
Right, it doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound right.
Well, I could have done that for you.
What song are you playing?
I'm just playing chords. So it's not in rhythm, but you don't even have to be a musician to go, something's not right, stop playing because it's not in sync. That's oftentimes in our lives, we feel this, I don't know what's out of sync, but something's out of sync in the rhythm God has set for us. It doesn't feel right. That's where a non-musician goes, something doesn't feel right, and they ask their musician friends, help me. What's wrong with this music? Because I don't know. Funny about life's so complicated and busy. When we recognize, hey, something's out of whack, you recognize something in your life is out of sync, that's where you go ask people, hey, in my marriage right now, I am struggling with this. I'm struggling with that. Any thoughts so that you get into rhythm? There you go. Thank you for the illustration today.
Yeah.
Haley,
That was
that's
so
it. That's all
nice.
you needed to be here for today.
Awesome.
Bye, Haley.
Thank you for being here.
Bye.
Bye. See you later.
She's not
See you
even
later.
leaving.
She's not even leaving. She cut it. She knows it's not. Okay. My host
That was so
in that
fun.
illustration is to illustrate the point of this series as we go into the summer months, and it's about to get crazy for so many of you because now life's going to change. I mean, if you want to know, like, again, bringing in our professor, your life's about to change because what happens with your job for the summer?
We have summer break.
Woohoo!
Yeah. But now all of a sudden your rhythm's totally different for the summer.
Yeah.
And so if she's trying to have balance, well, then summer you're out of balance because you don't have work. Right?
Right. You got to find a new balance.
Yeah, it's a new rhythm. That's what we're trying to get away from is stop trying to strive for balance. Because you're going to look like that guy swinging the plates around. Just stress. If balance is the key, it's going to be very difficult. But rhythm is a slight change. I mean, to get her into sync into the song was a slight just rhythm change. So what we're going to talk about is going to be very easy if applied in the truths to come. Because here's the truth that I do know about music. Music beats is the truth. You can't change that. This is the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4. That's the beat. And that sets it for the rest of the song. You can't go, look, I'm going to play a 2-4 over here. You play 4-4. It gets confusing very rapidly. And so we're going to give you over the next few weeks how to get into sync with God. Now, let's ask this question to Lily, who has been married for 2 years now. How's
Almost.
that? Sorry, I'm rounding in
No,
July,
it's
2
okay.
years. What do you think? Here, let's just take a guess here. Lily is very pregnant. She is been pregnant for how many weeks now? Months?
26.
26.
So we're halfway there.
Woo!
You haven't really done much, though, have you? It's just you don't even have to think about it. It's just happening.
I never think about it, no.
I mean, you don't
I
have to think
constantly
about.
forget.
No. You don't. I'm saying you don't think about today. We're going to create fingernails.
No.
It's just happening.
No.
You didn't think about
But
that.
I did read that our baby, her skeletal system is fully developed.
Boom.
Today.
All the
Very
bones.
cool.
Wow.
That's pretty wild. Now, I think the baffling thing with babies is the eyes.
Mm-hmm.
The eyes, when they're formed, identical colors, and then when the slit of the eyes just form because
Yeah,
they're
that's
all,
crazy.
isn't that wild? Like you think about that, it's all one, and then all of a sudden, simultaneously, somehow, they just slit appears. God did a good job.
That's wild.
Okay, so forgive me for rounding up and that you are going to be married 2 years. The question I have about baby Tanya is do you think that she
Tanya.
will be born before your 2-year anniversary?
No.
You haven't thought about that one yet.
No,
have
no,
you?
I don't think she will be.
You don't?
No.
It could be close.
Yeah. It could be. It
could
could
be.
happen.
It could
Yeah,
happen.
but I don't think that will happen.
Okay, I was just seeing. Okay, but now you're going on 2 years of being married. Have you and Jordan ever been out of rhythm with each other?
Yeah.
Like, give us a for instance.
I
I have a new one for you that we could just go for it.
go for it. Yeah.
No,
sure.
no, but it's your story.
Yeah, you can.
But you don't remember?
Recently?
Yeah, like on Easter.
On Easter.
Man, that this just tells you how that she.
Playing airsoft?
It's not a big deal. No, but she did play airsoft, which is impressive. No, he wants and you're like,
Oh yeah, Jordan wants a dog, and I
puppy.
am unsure if I want one. So that would make us out of sync. Yeah. Okay.
out of rhythm.
Yeah.
So how do you then get in that relationship? And it's not a big deal. They're not like didn't seek out counseling, so everybody's like,
Not yet.
not yet. Yeah.
Just
Okay, how do you work through when you aren't one wants one and one doesn't?
Yeah, I mean, I think I have one of two options. I can kick and scream my way to no, or I can consider and lean in. And at the moment, I feel like there's a wiser choice. I feel like for our marriage, kicking and screaming is not beneficial.
So you're getting the dog.
I'm considering.
Oh my gosh, I like how she's like she wields all of the power here to.
Well, I
don't
think
want
that's
it to be
I
that
think
way.
that's what she's trying to say is she
I know,
recognizes that she doesn't hold all of the power to it, but it also is figuring out like what's the right timing and
Yeah.
Right, I understand.
We might not get a dog, though.
Why not?
So I guess we'll see what
I
happens.
kicked and screamed our way through a couple dogs and got rid of them.
Yeah. We were not in sync for that, and eventually I was like, "Well,
Now, and it wasn't fully either
now
one
we
of
get
our
full
parts.
story here.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Let's hear it. Justify it, baby. Justify it."
One dog was, you were in a conversation, someone heard you say you wanted a dog,
Gave us
and then
some-
the next week they brought
not
the
a
dog.
real
That's
black lab.
absolutely crazy to
And
me.
so then you're kind of faced
3
with the
times
scenario
somebody's given
of
us
like,
dogs.
you don't want to be like,
yeah, like you have no choice then.
and so
in
you
that.
just take it, and then the dog just doesn't fit in. So
Doesn't fit. Get him out
I
of
would
here.
not do that, to someone.
that wasn't really a conversation
I
between us.
think
It
are
was
we
just kinda
almost
like
on
a-
average of dogs? We've almost given away more dogs than we've kept.
Yeah, that
True.
sounds
Really?
about right.
Yeah,
think
which
so.
I think
Wow.
that's good. I know that because
However,
why?
of the ones we've kept, one has lived till she was 20.
Yeah, she was ancient of days.
And then
Crazy.
we had another one till he passed away. So
Yeah.
we do keep them.
When we keep them, we're in.
Yeah.
But it's like if you ain't fitting and you're an animal, let's get you to a spot that you fit.
Yeah.
So that you're in the
But
rhythm and
that's,
sync.
I was just going to say I think sometimes we feel like when we're out of rhythm with things, we're doomed. But like we can change things to get back into rhythm.
That's the
And
beauty
that's
of
a
it,
great-
Lil. That's what I'm trying to
Good
get
point.
to is all of these are choices.
Right.
When we're not in rhythm, is a choice. Haley could have chosen when she was doing the clapping to stay in her thing. And, I'm just going to clap. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is chaos.
Yeah.
Or she could choose right now in our illustration. She had no option. It would have broken the illustration.
I was so
You
tempted
had
to,
options.
like,
But got into rhythm.
Clap along.
And so then it's like nice and peaceful and enjoyable. That's the same thing in our lives when we can get in rhythm with God. So we're going to use a story that if you've grown up in the church, you know inside and out, okay? This is not going to be a brand new story. You've heard illustrations even in movie series about this. It's one of the author's miracles. Some call it a sign. John, author John, is an eyewitness account to Jesus' death and resurrection. John took care of Jesus' mother after Jesus came back to life after the Easter story. Jesus asked John to take care of his mother, Mary. John goes to Egypt with Mary and takes care of her until she passes away. This is the author here. So when John writes, I really enjoy him writing because I get to learn so much from John, his perspective, and Mary's probably got a lot of stories she's filled in the blanks with. And so John writes not all the miracles. He writes only 7 of what some say miracles. Others, John says signs. These are 7 signs to what? Prove Jesus is who he said he is. And one of those said signs is Jesus fed 5,000 men is what's counted there. Now, this is not brand new information, but is it just 5,000 men were sitting there on the hillside, Professor? Or do you think there were more than 5,000 human beings on said hillside that is going to be fed fish and bread?
I think there was probably more.
What do you base that off of?
Because I think when the Bible was written, they prioritized, like, the men.
Yep.
So, like, if there were 5,000 men, maybe their wives were there too. Maybe some children.
Yeah, I'm going to help you not have to be so questionable. You should be confident today. You know your stuff, girl. I've sat in this office with you.
All right.
She's like saying it as, I think. No, the truth is, in this culture, in that time period, they just counted men. Children were not as valuable until a certain age. Women, in their culture, didn't count them as so they just counted men. And so there were probably, some of the theologians out there think there's around 15,000 people on this hillside. Because you get kids running around and you get women, 15,000 people, okay, are being fed. Now, I did some research here. Okay, Lily, do you like the Chick-fil-A sandwich from McDonald's. Or the fish sandwich, sorry, Chick-fil-A.
The fish
I got it all
fillet.
confused in my head. I don't need these locations. Chick-fil-A, chicken.
The fish fillet?
No, the fish sandwich from McDonald's. You like that? Why?
Because that sounds disgusting.
Wow, all
I
right.
can't picture how it tastes because I had it when I was young.
We have a picture of it in case anybody needs
But
a
now,
shot.
I
Here
don't know.
is your Filet-O-Fish sandwich from McDonald's, everyone.
I don't know if I want to eat this.
You don't?
Yeah, I would. Like
This is
if
this
you
is one of my parents' favorite. Like if they were ever
It
going to
is?
McDonald's, this is what they'd get.
Really?
I can
And Legend
taste
probably would too.
I
Yeah, I
don't know
remember
if I've
Legend
ever
liking
gotten
it.
this.
I've never eaten
Never
it. I
had
look
one?
at it, and I worked there, and it was free, and I still, no way.
It's free.
No, that looks awful. Now, I know it's a hot commodity during Lent because they eat them on, but okay. So Jesus fed fish and bread.
Right. So basically,
It's a
fish fillet
Sandwich, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm getting to.
With
Basically.
American cheese. and
Yeah.
Yeah, no
cheddar
cheese
sauce.
on it, but
Jesus is going around like, do you want sauce?
So
no
I
sauce.
needed it.
How did
loving
I
it.
not know that's
I'm
where you were
loving it.
going?
yeah,
I
thank you. You
didn't.
missed it, right? So very
I did
clearly.
not put
I
that
didn't
together
pick it
either.
up.
Oh my goodness! So I did some math, and,
Like,
and
why did he pick up fish
our
fillet?
professor is a professor of what?
Math.
Great. I brought you on to do some math as well
you go.
today, and she hates
Let
that.
me get my calculator.
No.
That can't be allowed.
The fish au filet is fish what? Fish fillet? Filet of fish. You got it.
Go to the bathroom.
Losing it. We're losing it. Oh my goodness. Okay. The fish sandwich from McDonald's is $3.
Okay.
No calculator.
Why not?
Use you're a professor.
Yeah, but okay.
People have to turn us down. We're like, what is happening? This is church, right?
Okay,
We're supposed
so-
to okay.
The math.
$3 for a fillet of fish.
Okay.
Did I say it right?
Whatever. Let's just go on.
Okay. $3. You need at least 5,000 of them. How much money?
15,000.
15,000?
Yeah.
All right, $15,000 for I like it. I like your answer. I feel good about it. But we're gonna we're going for 10,000. So 10,000 is
People times 3.
30,000.
I would just like to see
I'm
what
like,
happened. Okay,
why is this taking so long?
as basic as we get, ladies.
She struggles on
Really
the
on this
spot.
side of the studio, mouth the number to the professor.
She struggles on the spot.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so
okay.
$30,000 it would cost to feed just fish and bread if it was from McDonald's. Now, McDonald's might go, we'd give a discount for such a need of feeding people on the hillside. But we're talking about if this happened, 30 grand. So, Haley, if you're on the hillside and Jesus came to you and said, hey, we need to feed these people, would you go, I don't have 30 grand to go to McDonald's. What are you suggesting? What would your take be if you were one closest to Jesus and he goes, hey, we got a crowd here. We need to feed the masses. What would you do?
I'd probably send them home. Like, there's no way.
You would just say, yeah, okay.
I would just say,
probably-
like,
I'd probably teach
we
on
would
fasting.
if we could.
I would teach on fasting. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say I would feed you if we could, but
Okay. I like
don't
that. I
have
love that thinking.
that
How about
money.
you, Lil?
I'd pass the crumbs.
What?
Here's for you.
You're ridiculous. Get out of here. Oh my
yeah,
God.
pass the crumbs.
I got it,
Just
but
do
that's
your best to
not
share.
practical. But that's
Just do your
okay.
best
Do
to
your best
share.
to share, everybody.
With what you got.
Okay, we have that sincere. It's not even shared. Just take your proportion at dinner, and by the time you get to the last person, there's no proportion left.
Yeah.
Because this happens with bacon.
much,
You
yeah.
don't cook a bunch of bacon. You just have what you have, and by the time the bacon gets to the last person, all there is crumbs.
That would, yeah.
And that's
That's
its family
accurate.
10. So with
No, I don't think there's
5,000
anything
people,
I could do. There's nothing I could do.
nothing you could do. I think I would. I like Holly's little joke, teach on fasting, clever. I think I would have said to Jesus, hey, it's not my fault these people were stupid and came out
They
today.
didn't pack their lunch.
Yeah, like they need to learn some leadership and responsibility of their mess. That's the human side of me.
Why was it expected to be fed?
I don't.
Yeah,
we don't know,
that's
but
yeah.
We don't live in that culture. So we're going to pick up in this story in John chapter 6. John chapter 6, verse 5 is where we're at. So let's read this. Jesus soon saw a huge crowd of people coming to look for him. Turning to Philip, He asked, "Where can we buy bread and feed all these people?" He was testing Philip, for he already knew what he was going to do. Okay, a whole lot is being said there. Lily, who's Philip?
Philip is one of the disciples, so one of the people who decided to follow Jesus and what he was doing, kind of went everywhere with him.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Jesus is already asking the question, Holly, of where are we going to buy this? That's even why I did the math, because Jesus isn't saying send them home. He eliminated the option of to you. Well, Jesus just teach them about fasting. That's gone. He's saying, where can we buy food? I've heard once upon a time they said that Philip was from around this area, would be familiar with
I've heard the
local
same
restaurants.
thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it must be in scripture if we
It
both
might
have
be.
heard
It
that.
could also be from the Chosen. Let's
Could
be
be.
honest.
Well,
Chosen
it's-
influences us, good and bad, and so sometimes you have to fact check that. I'm not 100% sure, but okay, Holly, yes.
What?
Well, you said something and then stop.
Well, I was going to say, even
What is happening today?
when you read through scripture, like, I mean, I remember reading about, like, Elisha when he came and was like, you know, give me something to eat, and the woman had bread. Like, people have bread. Like, they have it around. So he would know where to go of who maybe makes it and sells it, and, you know, the different. That's kind of like the community there. Certain people do certain aspects of living.
Could you imagine, though, like, Lily, you being married for 2 years? Almost, sorry. I don't want
It's
to.
okay.
And you have guests over, and all you're going to serve them is bread. Hey, today I got bread. French bread. That's what we have. Would you feel good about your hosting skills?
No, I'd probably like make up all these things about how fancy the bread is and how filling it is and how carbs are so friendly.
Okay, be friendly. Because in our community, not even just in our society, bread is frowned upon in the United States. You go to like France, and they
it's
love their
carbs.
bread.
It's carbs are not your friend.
But let's be honest. In Europe, bread is awesome. In America, we fail at the bread game.
Yeah,
I mean, I know Panera Bread's trying to do. It's okay.
it's all right.
As bread goes, it's okay. So could you imagine, Holly, you fancy hosting, you like hosting people.
do.
We just had people over for Easter. Would you feel okay with going, hey, today, guys, we got you bread?
No, I mean, that would be really hard as, like, welcome to my house, enjoy a meal. Like, you don't see it as a full meal.
So something to be said about bread then.
And what about the gluten-free friends?
I don't even
what-
read about them
what
in
about
the
them?
Bible.
No.
Yeah. That's a whole nother topic. This is not a food thing. I have my opinions, and they're not to be shared right now. So we hop into this conversation. It's just bread. Jesus' goal right now is like, hey, where can we buy bread to feed people? What is it about bread in this culture that is different than in our culture? Why is bread such a big deal?
In this specific culture.
In culture, like it's all throughout the Bible, Old Testament, New Testament, bread is what's being served over and over and over.
Easy to make.
Okay, I like that. Easy to make.
Well,
Who's a
you
guess?
have the
What's
ingredients for
what's
that?
the minimum ingredients you need for bread?
Yeast and water.
Water, yeast.
Water and yeast. That's
And
it.
flour.
And flour. I
Yeah.
thought I didn't hear flour.
I didn't say.
Or-
Yeah.
Yeah, something like flour. It could be wheat. It could be.
Yeah.
Your binding agent.
Yeah. Okay. So that's all it requires for
Salt.
bread. Is bread easier to transport, you think, than all of those ingredients?
Easier to
Yeah.
transport.
A loaf of bread easier
Lighter.
than
It's lighter.
yeast and
Yeah.
flour, right?
Yeah.
What?
What do you mean transport? Like,
Well,
Like,
travel.
Travel with. So yeah, I mean, if you have jars of flour, is
Yeah.
it lighter than 7 loaves of bread? Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
So
Or
we're
it's not
kind-
lighter.
So a little bit.
the
We're
loaves
sorry.
of bread.
It's just easier to move around.
easier.
Well, it also is filling.
It's filling.
Like it
but
will feed.
flour can go bad quick if I get it wet.
Yeah.
Flour.
Yeah.
So traveling with a jar of flour, not as conducive as a
Well,
bread.
it just disintegrates, you know, like if you.
But I lose it.
Yeah.
I'm not preserving it at that
Right.
point. I'm just, you guys are, your modern brains are fighting against the technology
I
of
was
their
gonna say,
day.
I've had the same bag of flour. No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
flour
but
goes bad.
put yourself in this
But you're
culture.
right, like if you
If it were to get
Unbelievable.
wet.
Like,
I mean,
seriously,
the other-
these
none of
ladies.
those ingredients need to be refrigerated, nor does bread. You know, so that helps. But you're right. If you were working off of jars of like how you store it, then yes, the bread is all around a lot easier to.
Can
just
you
have.
live on bread alone? Wow, these ladies are
No,
killing me.
all I can think of is
No.
the Bible verse.
The
So-
answer is no.
The answer is no.
Health wise, I'm just talking about health wise, not Jesus' principles yet. Because Jesus says you can't
Man
live.
cannot live on bread alone.
So let's Google this mess.
Yeah, I need to Google it.
I mean, don't they make references to back in the day in the prison life that they would get bread and water?
Well, water. You can't. I mean,
Yeah, okay. I guess I should say bread and water. But is bread edible? Like, if you're gonna just have something to eat, bread is it? Can you live on? Put it in the chat. Help me out, folks.
Yeah,
Really,
bread.
any facts? Quick.
Yes.
I just don't know where to go.
We'll just ask the question: Can you live on bread?
AI overview. While technically possible to survive on bread, a diet consisting solely of bread, even with water, is not nutritionally complete and will lead to significant health problems over time.
Okay.
Okay.
Long-term consequences. A
go.
diet solely of bread can lead to
Let's put Lil on the screen here. I don't need to be.
malnutrition, fatigue, and other health problems.
Okay, so it is sustainable, but you're going to look unhealthy, essentially. Like,
yeah.
It's going to get you down the road. You're not going to die. I think, what is it? It's in threes. You can go 3 days without water and live. You can go 3 weeks without food, and you can live in 3 months without... I can't remember the next three, though.
I don't think I've heard that statement.
Yeah, it's in threes. I don't... I think it's shelter or something like that. I could be wrong on the third. The first two is correct. Okay, so we're understanding bread's a big deal there because it does help. You can put stuff in the bread as well to make it more nourishable. That brings up the level of... And this is important. So it's like, where are we going with this? Because we already alluded, Jesus talks about bread of life stuff. I also want to, in John chapter 6, verse 5, he turns to Philip, but to test him. It doesn't say, like, seeing if he's a good guy. We're testing. Does that rub anybody wrong? That okay, Jesus does test his followers. Haley, do you want to push back on that? I know you're like, well, I'm not picking a fight with Jesus, so I have to just deal with it.
that was literally my thought. I was like, well, if you had done that to me, I would have
Push back.
pushed back. Yeah, but it's Jesus, so like, how can you do that with Jesus?
But that doesn't mean you have to like it. So do you like that part of the process that Jesus is testing Philip? It's trying to... Do you say no?
No, yeah.
Thank you for being honest.
I don't like that part.
Why, though? What's the problem with it?
Who likes tests, even as a professor?
Okay, at least you know.
That's good.
At least you know you're the enemy to your students. Well, how about you? Does it put you off a little bit that a loving God who sent his son Jesus, who might believe in him have eternal life, that the same one that died on a cross rose again, will also test the condition of your heart?
No, I think, well, I don't like tests. I don't like lessons. But just recently in Students, we talked about another story, and I really think Jesus was doing something similar here. And I think that Jesus is often trying to teach lessons, and there's something to be learned in this story. And I think that it excites Jesus because he knows that someone's going to have an opportunity to learn a new lesson today.
Jesus is always after the heart. And so if you feel quizzed, tested, it isn't a deception. It is not to get you, gotcha. Mm-hmm. It is to reveal to you, first and foremost, your heart so you'll turn to him. It's a revelation of the condition of your heart. So and it comes through oftentimes in today's culture through people. It could be somebody asking you, can I have your fish or fillet? Or your... Still not saying it right. That's supposed to be joking.
Can you pay for my fish o filet?
Yeah.
It's filet-o-fish.
Filet-o-fish.
It's fish o filet from
It's
now
a
on.
fillet of the fish.
Yeah, it's still not good. But we live in a culture where we don't like tests and we don't like to find our condition of our heart. We want to think we're perfect all the time, but Jesus is trying to reveal the condition of our heart so that we will change. Mm-hmm. Change doesn't come about until we realize we're so far from the rhythm that is being set. When we talk about being in footstep with God, isn't God changing his footsteps to you? It's you surrendering your rhythm to him. It's no other way. Have you ever walked behind somebody or been next to each other? Holly and I used to do this. We would walk together, arms around each other, and we would try to be in step with each other. So your foot hit
That's
the same.
cute, guys.
Did you ever do that?
No.
No?
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I have.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's like
Skip together.
but it's got to be on sync.
Not with Jordan.
Why not with
No.
other boyfriends? What are we
with
unpacking? Sorry,
friends.
Jordan, if you're listening, cover your ears.
I've done it with your daughters. Remember
Oh.
we would lock arms and skip together? Remember, guys?
No,
would
they are
sing that-
ghosting her
We
like,
would
chirp,
sing that
chirp,
song,
chirp.
Son. You don't remember
No,
that?
Lil, you're losing them. You've lost
She
all of
remembers.
us.
Historic remembers.
Anyways, yes. Sorry.
And to get into sync in those steps, like one of us would have to like stutter step to get into sync. And if both stutter step, your results are still out of sync. But if one stutter steps, you're in sync, and it's actually, you can't help but laugh. All married couple, your assignment tonight is to walk in sync with each other. You're going to laugh at yourselves. Lily, you haven't done this with Jordan. Please do it. Please send photo proof or
Just the
video.
attempt will be entertaining.
Yeah, I want it all documented. I don't want the results. We all want to see.
I'll try to put a phone up, but he hates when I do that.
Yeah, just tell him it's
Hates
for
it.
research purposes.
Yeah.
I've tried. He hates it.
Well,
I'll try. He'll try.
He stood for the
I'll have to
picture
do
of
it
us
secretively
airsofting.
and then tell him after the fact.
Okay. Okay, so Jesus, we are now understanding Jesus tests us to reveal the condition of our hearts that we might change ourselves into joining the rhythm that he has set. But we have to have the revelation of our situation, the plight in life, and it's for every one of us. It's funny about this. We see in other people the condition of their heart before they themselves see the condition of their heart. And you better be praying for good friends that when they see the condition of your heart and it isn't in rhythm with God, that they'll say something. As frustrating as that will be, and you don't want to hear it, those are the best friends you want to keep around all the time. In one phrase, you could actually, man, if you would join with your friends, go, hey, we're going to introduce a new accountability question. Where in my life do you not see me in rhythm with God?
That's great.
Married couples, ask that question. Where in my personal life do you not see me in rhythm with God? And then shut up. No rebuttals. No, well, you don't. Just shut up and take it and ponder it. Because those individuals are not saying things to you because they are angsty. It's because they have insight into you. It's like this. I cannot see my nose at all, but you see it. If I had something hanging out from it, I hope somebody would tell me. Lily's become a great friend over the years. She will tell me if I got something in my teeth in the office or hanging. She's like,
Just slide over a mint.
you slide over
Slowly.
mint. She's done that before, and I'm grateful. Kind of doesn't bother me. I'm not smelling it. I'm grateful for the next person I'm about to go talk to. Like we had baptisms this past Sunday, and I felt so bad talking after speaking for 5 minutes and then going 45 minutes. Okay, honesty. But I could taste the not so pleasant breath, and here I am baptized you in the name of the Father. Right in there. Oh,
I didn't know.
yeah. Well. I felt bad.
Oh, no.
Just full honesty and disclosure for everyone. But to have somebody that's coming in your life, right, and helps you. So you want to get in rhythm, God, ask a friend. Where do you see me out of sync, out of rhythm with God? And just listen. You will be grateful. You will become a better person, a more enjoyable person to be around. And, the world will become better. Okay, so we now know, and we've all rested on the fact that Jesus tests us, and it's just part of being in a relationship with Jesus. We don't like tests, but it reveals the condition of our heart so we can change. So, going on the story, John chapter 6, verse 7, Philip replies, even if we worked for months, and he's referring to the 12 disciples, we wouldn't have enough money to feed them all. How much money did we say it was going to cost to buy a chicken or fish sandwich? My goodness.
$15,000.
$10,000 or $5,000?
Let's go 5,000.
15,000.
15,000. Like, currently, like, let's not pretend we could go to a debit machine. Let's say we are on this property and we got to come with $15,000. Anyone sitting around with cash in your pocket?
No, just say, what have you raised for camp?
Yeah, but like, I'm just saying cash. You're not sitting around with this amount of money
No, for sure
in cash.
not.
If you
For
are,
sure not.
what lifestyle do you carry? That's all I'm
Yeah.
just going to say, ladies.
I would just start digging holes in this
Yeah,
yard.
yeah,
I'm
well,
sure
let's go find some
someone's
gold.
I'm sure someone's planted
Somebody
their
probably put something
cash.
somewhere.
Yeah.
So Philip already was like, hey, the 12 of us, even if we work for, how long do you say? Work for months. He's saying what you're asking us to do is more than a wage for 12 men in months.
He's pretty much saying it's impossible.
Correct. In the kindest way you could to the King of Kings and Lord of Lords named Jesus. When Jesus asked Philip where they could buy a great amount of bread, Philip started assessing the probable cost. What's this going to take to do this? How are we going to pull this off? Jesus wanted to teach him that financial resources are not the most important ones. But that's where we default so many times. Well, what's this going to cost me? Oh, wait, if I give this $5 to this homeless person, are they going to spend it in the right place? Not on you. God's asking, are you going to give the resources? He wants to know the condition of your heart. And then it's on that individual when they receive it, what to do within their heart. You're not held responsible for what they do with that money. And then you'll say, well, I'm trying to be fiscally wise. No, God's not asking you to be. He's asking you to do something. We've got to stop looking at situations and going, what's this going to cost us financially? It's been a long time in our marriage for Holly and I to get together. I'm a little bit of a dreamer. Would you say a little bit?
What?
A little. I like to dream a little bit. And then she used to always come, well, how much is that going to cost? And I said, could you just get to wow first instead of how? I want wow. Like, wow, that's a great idea. I've never heard anyone think of it.
Wow, that's going to cost a lot.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
That's new. She's never said that before. Lily's filing that one away for herself as well. My goodness.
That's good.
But here's what I see with Philip. Philip is about to, if it wasn't Jesus, let's put it in a situation, maybe it is in your family, you feel God's calling you to do. Somebody goes, I don't know if we have the money and all these, we don't have the time. What Philip was about to do is limit God in what he actually wanted to do in the moment because he doubted we didn't have enough resources, we don't have enough manpower, we cannot do. He's about to eliminate a massive sign to who Jesus was. And so we've got to understand we can eliminate what God wants to do in our own personal lives by assuming that it's not possible. In my personal finances, present day circumstances, that's impossible. And so you know what? When we believe it, that's impossible, that's never going to happen, we behave in a way that's going away from God showing up and showing off. We are drifting from that. We're getting out of rhythm where God's like, no, I'm still a God of impossible. I still want to do these things, but I need you to be in rhythm with me. So when I do it, I did it.
Mm-hmm. I think that's so good because when you're reading right here at verse 6 and he says he was testing Philip, but he already knew what he was going to do. Like, it's just like you can say the word testing and we all talked, we don't like test or whatever, but Jesus is giving him an opportunity to maybe lean in to what he knows Jesus can do and not just what he can figure out. And that's such a great, we always will limit God if we are leaning in on our own understanding, like what we know and how we're going to make this work. But when we lean into what Jesus is doing, then it's endless. It's,
right.
We can, who knows what will happen. So I think that's a great point.
But we're going to we have our professor here, we have a mom of 8, and we have our resident control freak over here.
I was like, as you were saying that, I was like, what's going to be my title?
Yeah, and you're like, meh.
I wouldn't have thought that. I thought you were going to say the resident very pregnant one. Because you keep saying I'm very pregnant. I'm like, what's going to happen a month from now when I'm very pregnant?
For control or for purposes of illustration, I
am a control freak for sure.
But then in that, because we all like to control our future and all those things, we can miss out on what God's showing. But why do we like control, Lil? I'm going to use a strong word. I know you don't do this because you surrender your controlling issues to God. That when we covet control, what are we doing in our life?
I just think it's tangible for us. And I think we want tangible. We want something we can hold on to and control.
But if we control, we feel like we mitigate the fears.
Yeah.
We get the outcome potential we think we want.
We don't have to sit in the unknown.
We don't have to, and we think we get what's best for us. That's what's so crazy. Is like where do we get off as a human race thinking we know what's best for us? I watch my kids, and when they plan their meals, I look at that going, "What are you eating? It'd been better if you just ate the bread that was from ancient of days than what you're eating currently right now, because that's not food. That's styrofoam with some kind of salt on it." But they're like, "I love it. It's so tasty." We see kids doing this. Adults, we grow up and we just justify our decisions when we control the outcome, thinking we know what's best for us. It's just we know what we want. Doesn't mean that's best for us. It's just what we want, and we'll control everything to get the outcome we want, and that's not being in rhythm with God. So I ask this question to all of you as we move through this story: is there some important, impossible task that you believe God's asked you to do or wants you to do that you haven't done yet? because you can't control your way to the end. You don't know all the details. You don't know what your summer's going to look like. I could never go on that mission trip. I don't know I don't know what my summer. Stop thinking 8 months down the road. What's God asking you to do right now? Don't let your estimate of what can't be done keep you from taking on the task. God can do the miraculous. Trust Him to provide the resources. Somebody needs to hear that. Especially on the cusp of us going on a mission trip. People are like, oh, I don't know if I can go. I don't have the money. Sign up and help people or let people figure that out. Back to the story, John chapter 6, verse 8. Then Andrew, Simon, Peter's brother, spoke up. There's a young boy here with 5 barley loaves and 2 fish. But what good is that with this huge crowd? I find it very interesting. And I think it reveals a lot of things for us. What do the disciples put into this scenario right now?
Doubt.
Okay, but give me tangible things. Physically, what have they brought to the table right now?
Questions.
Okay.
Sorry, I don't know what you're looking for.
I know. I love how you're just spouting off things today. Normally, she's a bit reserved. This is great. I'm here for it.
Well, they just put in what they couldn't, what it would take to do it if
Yeah,
they
thank you
were.
for... She said doubt. You've just said doubt, but with 10 words. The answer is nothing, Haley.
Yeah,
Right.
I
the
mean,
nothing.
answer is nothing.
They turned to a little boy.
Well, but I think this scenario is so perfect for like and it was real life, obviously, but like that's just like anytime Scott in this whole like you're the dreamer, Holly's like the one who says how. Anytime he brings like a real idea, most people are doing what the disciples are doing. That would take forever. That would cost a lot. This person has this, but that's not going to work. You know, I think it's just very, very, very normal. So they see it all the time.
I mean, I just think in the story that's happening here, real life story, when you look at it and break it down, it's the contrast of a little boy has a little bit of stuff. Disciples are bringing nothing to the table in this scenario. Right. Nothing. I mean, that's baffling to me. They're looking around like, what can we take from people versus what do I have in my hands? Oftentimes, God's just asking for your heart and your hands to do something. And so, in the story, they I would assume, as adult men that had some means of traveling, they're not hobos, they have resources. But they didn't offer them up. Haley, in your remembering of this story, it's told a couple times from different authors. This is the same. The disciples don't pull from their pocket, well, let's pull the money together and see how much we got.
Yeah.
Right?
Right. No, they don't do that.
They don't do anything. They're looking around to the crowd. Well, what do the crowds have instead of what do I have? We've got to always make sure we're willing to jump in the ring, folks.
That's good.
We got to get our hands dirty. I love it when people come to me. I got this idea. We should start this. Okay, do you want to do it? Oh, I got no time for that. I just want the church to do that. God broke your heart on that topic. You should be the leader.
I think that's really practical. Like, okay, God, how can you help me have this spirit of like offering? Like, I can do that. Or like, say, like we're in this small group. If you guys watched our Good Friday service, you would have met Laura, who was in here, and we've been challenged to say yes to things. And I think there's simple yeses, like, oh, I can give to that. Or I have extra food, I can give to that. And I just think that's how we don't get caught in the doing what the disciples did and just kind of staying silent and like waiting for someone else to bring the solution.
I think what breaks my heart in this story is they do nothing.
Nothing.
The worst you can do in any situation is nothing. That is a problem. That's a spiritual problem to see a need. Okay, our Messiah, which means the anointed one, which means the king. We learned that at Easter. Jesus the king, our king is asking for us to come up with a solution. What do we have in our disposal, our means, our possessions to do something about it? And they didn't offer any of it up. And I think it's because they go, we don't have enough. Even if if it's again us here, we're in the same scenario, we'd all look at each other. We don't have enough money to get enough of these fish sandwiches from McDonald's. We don't have enough. But that doesn't mean you can't go to McDonald's and say, McDonald's, we got this thing. Can you donate X amount? Can we borrow this? And come up with a solution for the problem.
That's good.
The disciples are going, we don't have it. We offer nothing because we only have a little. So they go to a boy who had a little. They offer up a little from someone else instead of from themselves. Someone, wherever you're watching, you got to hear this. Your little to you is a massive amount in the kingdom of heaven. But you view it as so micro. We got a little boy who had little bread and a little fish. I wrote it like this. If we offer nothing to God, he will have nothing to use. But he can take what little we have and turn it into something great. Your little talent that you think so little and petty, oh, no one will. And you say, God, how can I use this for your kingdom? And all of a sudden you start doing it. It's like, whoa, this is multiplying. This is growing. Wow, I had no idea. Take your little something and do something for the kingdom with it. That's what it's there for. But we get insecure, self-conscious. We look around going, well, I don't have a personality like that. I don't know that much about scriptures. Those are all lies to yourself. I didn't get anything in this situation about a little boy knowing theology. I don't even know if this little boy knows who Jesus was. So we go into John chapter 6, verse 10. Tell everyone to sit down, Jesus said. So they all sat down on the grassy slope. The men alone numbered about 5,000. Then Jesus took the loaves, gave thanks to God, and distributed it to the people. Afterwards, he did the same with the fish, and they all ate as much as they wanted. This is wild. Now, here's why. If this is a sign to point to who Jesus is, what is this? What's the sign pointing to? Now, we're going to put the three ladies on the spot. What's the sign pointing to? I'm going to go to the one that's chewing on her fingernails because she seems to be the most nervous at the moment. What does this sign point to about Jesus? John picked 7 signs to point to Jesus, to teach us who he is. What's it saying here, Lil?
That he can do miracles?
Okay, I like how you ended up with like it was a question.
I was trying to think of the other signs very quickly, but I couldn't.
Okay, he can do miracles. That's fair. I like that. How about Holly, my beloved wife for almost 24 years?
Almost.
You don't want to get to her.
I was gonna say he's provider.
Ooh,
That's good. Yeah.
That he provides.
that's it. You just mic dropping it right there.
Yep.
Okay, great. Haley, how about you?
Can you repeat the question?
Oh my goodness. Do I have an eraser?
Oh, that's
There's
so
never
good.
a dumb question.
What is this show about who Jesus is?
How's
What
it
does
a
it
sign
point
to
to?
pointing to Jesus, right? John has picked 7 miracles, 7 signs to build a case, if you will, to who Jesus was. So this is one of the 7 that points to Jesus. What is he trying to teach us about who Jesus is?
He uses what we give him. He multiplies.
Okay. I think Lily was having fun with us a little bit. What'd you say earlier?
He does
He do
miracles.
He does miracle. Yeah. That's a good one, but we know that.
I was not having fun. That was a real
I mean, we
answer.
already got that with the whole virgin birth
But I think,
situation.
okay, true. And I think your question, when you asked it again to Haley, I was like, oh, because you're saying this case that John is trying to build, how is it pointing to, his
What is being
divinity,
revealed about Jesus
who
here?
he really was, that he was the Son of God, and yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
You go on.
I'll go.
I can't wait to hear.
I can't wait to. I think Holly's dead on is that when we come into the kingdom of Jesus, he's our king. He's going to provide us. And we know even more at the end of this, but even if you walk away from the story here, he's our provider, our sustainer in life. When we're out of rhythm with God, what makes burdens other than the ones from God feel so heavy is that we are now doing it on our own. We are trying to make it all add up to sustain us. So you have to chase after the wind. You have to just do crazy things to just keep the bank account going. It's never have enough. I haven't enough. Jesus is like, hey, you're never going to have enough. I'm enough. Let me fill that enough quota for you. Let me step in and be your provider spiritually, because that's where it's going to take a shift. Because Jesus gets really irritated with the crowd after this because they're chasing him. So let's finish off the story. After everyone was full, Jesus told his disciples, now gather the leftovers so that nothing is wasted. So they picked up the pieces and filled 12 baskets with scraps left over by the people who had eaten from the 5 barley loaves. This is just wild. It's wild, this whole scenario, this miracle, that Jesus sometimes decides to work through people. And here he took a young child child offered and used to accomplish one of the most spectacular miracles recorded in the gospel. Learn that age is no barrier for Jesus to use you. Little kid versus the 12 disciples. You're not too young. You're not too old. I get tired of hearing both. There's somewhere in between. It's like between the ages of 16 and I feel like 65 seems to be this window where people don't use that excuse. I'm too young or too old. In there, okay, I best get busy. Once 65 hits and people start retiring, I'm too old, God can't use me anymore. Well, you're still breathing, so I think God has plans to be using you. I'm young. I've been convicted and challenged by the work ethic and passion by little kids going, oh my goodness, their faith is so awesome. So when we see this, it's that Jesus does a lot with a little, and age is no barrier. John 16:14. When the people saw him do the miraculous sign, they explained, surely this is the prophet we have been expecting. When Jesus saw they were ready to force him to be their king, he slipped away in the hills by himself. And when they talk about this prophet, you can go to Deuteronomy 18, and this is the prophecy. This is the prophecy about Jesus. We'll read it so you get the context, because this is what they were looking for. Deuteronomy chapter 18, verse 17. Then the Lord said to me, what they have said is right. I will raise up a prophet like you from among their fellow Israelites. I will put my words in his mouth, and he will tell the people everything I command him. That's foreshadowing the Messiah, the King. And they're ready to make Jesus their king. Now, the problem is if he gets crowned king, it becomes a battle with all of the other cultures, because here's now a crowned king. The Jewish people are going to have an uprising, and the Roman Empire would get really invested in, hold on, there's a new king in town. We got to squash this real fast. So Jesus slips away because it's not my time. He is the king. He just doesn't need it to be public, and because he didn't come to start a war.
Which we talked about that a little bit
Correct.
last week for Easter, of how
Just
Jesus is
yeah,
the king. Like, if you didn't watch it, go back and watch that.
Yeah, it was
talked
good.
a lot about how Jesus as the king and why it looked different and why
he did slip away at those times.
slip away in that
Right.
moment to not create the chaos.
So they all go to sleep. Everybody's sleeping at this point. The disciples disperse. Jesus dispersed.
Belly's full.
Belly's full. In the next morning, we pick up in the story in John 6, verse 26. Like the crowd now chases down Jesus' disciples, and what they're wanting is more miracles. They're like, I like it when you do this. It's pretty wild. I can't explain how it happens. It's a mystery. It's a good show, magic show. And so Jesus is a little annoyed at this point. Haley, what do you do when you sense Jesus' annoyance in Scripture? Do you go, man, that's surprising as the Son of God that he would be annoyed? Or are you like, I get it, I would be too? Or do you just buzz by that?
I think at first it's kind of startling because it's like, well, he's supposed to be perfect. Does someone perfect get annoyed? But it also says he's fully human, and it's just a really human thing.
Yeah.
To get annoyed.
And to be annoyed isn't a problem. Then you can also, I like how you said, well, perfect people, he's perfect, shouldn't... Being annoyed or rubbed wrong or being frustrated with somebody is not a problem. It's what we do in the frustration and annoyance is the problem. Because that's what reveals our heart. When you're frustrated with your spouse and you say unkind things to him, revealing of your heart. I'm sure I've frustrated Lily once in the office over the last 10 years. I can't remember when. Yeah, never.
Not once. Not even an hour ago.
Not even an hour ago. What happened?
Specifically,
What
not
happened?
even an hour ago.
Yeah, that was just before this.
Someone asked me what my emotion that is heightened the most in this pregnancy, and I said annoyance.
It is?
Oh,
Wow.
girl, you are going to be in trouble.
Wow, I hope that goes away when baby comes, because my
I
goodness.
just ate my microphone. Sorry, go on.
She gets annoyed quickly.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Man. Tanya's going to
Jesus.
struggle.
Tanya. I'm not naming her Tanya.
Last week it was on here. I don't know if you know the joke, Kaylee. And anyone's a first timer around here. Since Lily's been pregnant, every time we get on camera, 2 times a week we
somebody
film.
different.
It's a new girl name. And the last week, the last podcast, I thought I was going to nail and get a huge reaction. I was Hermione, and it just hit the floor. It was
Oh.
dud.
You would have got a reaction from me.
Yeah, but she had nothing.
She didn't like it.
Nothing. Like Tina last year, big reaction. Tanya this week, bigger
It was
reaction.
Tammy last week.
Tina, I can't remember.
I think you've used Tina too. I don't like, well,
All
not
the
that I
teen
don't
names.
like teen names, but there's not a teen name that I'm like, oh, that's so cute, that I've heard.
Tilly.
kind of cute.
Lily
Tilly,
and Tilly.
that's
No, too
No,
cheesy.
too many
that's
jokes.
cute. That's
not
cute.
cute.
Too cheesy. All right. Totally off track. This
Yeah.
is all gonna get cut out.
No, it's not. It's in here to stay. Okay, because the next day, Jesus slightly annoyed,
His
frustrated with the
annoyance.
crowd because they're just chasing him for his magic show from their point of view. Okay, so he's frustrated, and he just says, listen, even if I was to raise the dead, or if I myself, you would never follow me anyways. He makes reference to it throughout the other authors' books, and it just kind of shows that, man, sometimes people's hearts are just never going to turn. Doesn't matter what you do. You got Jesus is like, hey, listen, if I did all of them, you're still not. You're just following me for the accolades of the physical. They're mesmerized by the physical components, but not the spiritual components. So Jesus says, I tell you the truth. You want to be with me because I fed you, not because you understood the miraculous signs. Don't be so concerned about perishable things like food. Spend your energy seeking the eternal life that the Son of God or Son of Man can give you. Lily, what's he's contrasting two worlds that we play in as humans, the physical and the spiritual. What's he pushing this crowd to now?
I mean, I think he's just trying to help remind them of what happened, but that it's not the main thing. That he's saying, he's literally telling us how to spend our energy, and that's seeking the eternal life that the Son of Man can give, which might have been a bit confusing to them at the time, but really it's spend your energy trying to be in rhythm with me. Spend your energy trying to be in step with me. That's what's important, and along the way, as Holly said, I will provide.
Okay, so let me ask this big question to the ladies over here, and either one of you can take a crack at it. What is Jesus suggesting we spend time on? What is he more concerned about us being in rhythm in? I'll give you multiple choice. Physical things or spiritual things? What's he after?
B.
B.
Oh, I thought you guys were going to say it at the same time. Oh my gosh, Holly. You both could have just said spiritual.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for being right now. You want to know?
think I like-
Want to know what frustration looks like?
I think I'm like mentally a little bit more there at the moment
Then they are
with certain things. No, they're there.
frustrated.
No.
Oh, no, you're tracking with me.
But like, why'd you say A and
they're just
B
being-
and
it's like-
2
I always
and 3?
because she said B.
Yeah, because they're like being
Why not
incapacitated.
say
You told us
He
that
gave
you were
us
given
multiple
multiple.
choice.
Yeah,
I gave you multiple
choice.
choice, and you got to choose multiple choice. How it was A and B or 1 and 2.
Spiritual.
He says it. He says it at
you.
the end of 20
The
or
ladder.
27.
Wait,
Spend
so
your
you're-
energy. John 6:27. Spend your energy seeking the eternal life that the Son of Man can give you. So the spiritual side of things. Not
Okay.
like what's
Not the
gonna
physical.
So how do we evaluate what we're more concerned with then? How do we evaluate personally? How do we assess our own lives? What am I more concerned about? Why do you give the sound, Lil?
That's tough.
Why?
I think
Okay, she throws her hands up.
I think we're all
I'm
going
gonna
to
say
fail
I'm
that
gonna
test.
just ask when's the last time you told somebody about Jesus?
Okay, that's fair, but that doesn't really
Or
evaluate.
when's the last time you saw a need and met it?
Okay, I like those.
And that's yeah.
I mean, I think my mind just goes like, can we ever be fully there?
I think so. Because that's part of being
It's a goal.
sanctified, being more and more, less of myself, more of Him. So yeah, you got to get there more and more. I'm not saying that you're there
Yeah.
instantly. I'm just saying there's a process here. I think you got to pay attention to, for those of you that hear the idea that you got to communicate with God and pray to God, what are you asking? God, I need help with my resources. God, I need a spouse. God, I need a house. Right? These are all physical things. If you're not praying for God, help me with my annoyance, I'm pointing to Lily. God, help me with my...
Help me see people the way you do.
want me to... the person I'm frustrated with, if you're praying, God, help this individual get fired from my job, are you kidding right now? That's not even close to the attitude
Right.
of Christ. If you're praying, God, help me enjoy being around the person that frustrates me at work. Now all of a sudden you're dealing with not physical things, but a spiritual component. Does that make sense, Haley, when I say that?
Yeah.
So the quiz is, how do we quiz ourselves, is to pay attention what you're asking God to do most. And if it's just physical, God, it's warming up here in Minnesota. I need a new deck for my house. I want a boat. That's fine. And I have that list. We all do. But if that's the majority of the things we're praying for, then we're missing where Jesus is trying to shift it into the spiritual side. When we start dabbling more into Jesus is a God of the impossible, then we're going to see impossible things being done. But the more we stay in the physical realm, we're going to doubt that God can do it because we're like, well, in the physical realm, this will never happen. Jesus is trying to shift us here. I wrote it in my notes. Jesus criticized the people who followed him only for the physical and temporary benefits and not to satisfy their spiritual hunger. Many people use religion to gain prestige, comfort, or even political votes. Sorry, but those are self-centered motives. True believers, followers of Jesus, follow Jesus simply because they know that he has the truth and his way leads to life. His rhythm leads to life.
That's good.
So the story continues in John chapter 6, verse 28. For God the Father has given me the seal of approval. They replied, we want to perform God's work too. What should we do? Jesus told them, This is the only work God wants from you. Believe in the one who has sent you. That's a big statement, like with an exclamation point. What is that? Because what does that even mean when he's saying?
When he's saying this is the only work God wants from you.
Right.
Believe in the one he has sent. Believe in Jesus. Believe that Jesus is who he said he is.
Okay. It's that simple. So I just have to believe. I believe he is Jesus. And I'm good?
I think it was even more simple for those people right there because of what they just saw.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello?
Yeah.
But John always writes believe in. He never just says believe.
Well,
Believe in. Right. What's the difference?
Believe in.
Is that more like trust?
Okay. Yeah, I think it's bigger than
action?
just, I believe in, somebody's going to clip, I believe in Santa, right? I believe in Santa. Some people think this. Even as adults, they love the idea of believing in Santa, but like, that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking believing in. I believe there is Santa. That's fun.
Yeah, and
believing in is a physical move towards.
Yeah, like when you tell someone like, I believe in you. You can do this. Like
versus I believe that you might make that choice.
Right. Or I believe you exist. That's different.
Right. I think you could you believe, yes, but trust in. I always think about this in Minnesota, early ice. It's thin. First person to walk out on ice is the one I'm going to step into this or onto this ice, and I believe it will hold me. I believe in it, so my actions follow. You want to know you believe in Jesus, your action is going to follow. We came up with in student ministry, I came up with an equation that I always use. Belief leads to action, gives results. If you say you believe in Jesus, actions need to follow that. And Jesus alludes to that all the way, that your fruit, the way you behave, that you treat people, the way you talk, that's how we'll know you believe in me. But we don't work our way into heaven. It doesn't mean that's where it gets, well, so then you're telling me I can be good enough. No, it's believing in Jesus. It starts with a shift of the heart. That I'm not getting in a relationship with Jesus for him to fix me physically and get all my physical needs met. I'm spiritually pursuing him because to be in rhythm with Jesus is enjoyable, burden is light. I wrote it like this. Many sincere seekers of God are puzzled about what he wants them to do. The religions of the world are people's attempts to answer this question, but Jesus replies in a brief and simple, we must believe in him whom God has sent. Satisfying God does not come from works we do, but from whom we believe. The first step involves accepting that Jesus is who he claimed to be. All spiritual development is built on this foundation declared to Jesus. You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God. And embark on a life of a belief that satisfies your Creator. That's a lot of words to really break down what believe in is. Continuing in John chapter 6, verse 35, Jesus replies, I am the bread of life. Whomever comes to me will never be hungry. And this is where we even started today. It was like asking the question, well, can you live on bread of life alone? Because Jesus unpacks this. You can't live on bread alone. But he's going, I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never be hungry, because he's pointing back to satisfying the spiritual side of us. not physical. Jesus is not here to satisfy our physical needs, though he's a loving God, and he does. Anybody got problems with that Jesus didn't come to satisfy us physically in our physical needs? You want to push back on that? Lil?
No.
Okay.
No,
Holly?
but I think people get stuck on that's all he should be doing, when like, I need this, I'm praying for this, I want this, and you forget that belief. Yeah, I believe in you, Jesus. You forget that action part. So you can say I believe all you want. Jesus does provide those physical things, but there's so much more to it.
Yeah.
And I just think as people, we get stuck on that and think, I don't know, maybe we're entitled to, he just always provides for us.
I think the pushback is that you read through the heroes of the Bible and it seems like they're always getting their needs met, but it's an isolated moment. Mm-hmm. And if we're all honest, let's go around the studio. Haley, how long have you been a follower of Jesus? How many years? She's doing math in her head, I can tell. Her eyes went up in her head. She's like, well, I was 2 years old when I...
like 17 years.
17 years. Okay. Holly.
40?
40?
I was very little. 5, 6.
Okay, 40. Wow. She's the senior of the room. Lil?
Is that longer than you? I would say like 14, 15.
14, 15. In 7th grade. How old are you in 7th grade?
12.
12. And I'm 47. So just shy.
Really? You do
No.
the math?
No, you got this. I believe in you.
Yeah. No, I'm just shy of 40. I'm 37, 38.
Yeah.
38 years.
I just said yeah quickly so we could
Move on. Thank you. Appreciate that. But my point is, in my 38 years of being a follower of Jesus, Jesus has showed up physically for us. Mm-hmm. Even though that's not what he's about. He has provided because he's a loving God.
Yeah.
But that's not what we run to. It got to help me with this. Even as Holly's dad passed away of brain cancer, you better believe our prayers were for physical healing.
Yeah.
God, do a miracle, heal his body. But perfect faith is this. I know you can, but will you? I need a place to live. I hope you provide it. I know you can, but will you? And if you don't, I'm going to be okay with it. I'm going to get upset with you. And it's okay if you get upset with them, but be respectful. I got a real big problem with people telling me they cuss out God because they're so mad. I'm like, I don't see a position or a place that I would do that to a king that has the power to do what kings can. I guess somebody would say to me, well, you've never been in a position I've been. Maybe not. Jesus came to satisfy our spiritual needs first and foremost, and to deal with our eternal situation, not our physical. But he does help in the physical. John 6:36. Whoever believes in me will never be thirsty. But you haven't believed in me even though you have seen me. However, those the Father have given me will come to me, and I will never reject them. For I have come down from heaven to do the will of God who sent me, not to do my own will. This is where Jesus is going, hey, I'm not working independently of God. My Father, I'm doing his job. This is where you get God, where I say God in a bod. Because this is God in a body form, the human version of God through Jesus. I try to say it that way for us to wrap our brains around it. And so the question I have as we end the thought today is, are you in rhythm with God spiritually? This is the ground level before we can get into our marriage and parenting and singleness and dating life and buying things, right? This is the ground level. This is the foundation, the cornerstone that we're going to build on. Are you spiritually coming to Jesus and saying, I want to be in rhythm with you. I want to be in sync with you. I want to be in footsteps with you. Or are you way out of sync and you got to make an adjustment? It's on you to make that adjustment. It's on for you to make that change. Lily can't make it for you. Haley can't. Holly can't. And I can't. We can suggest, but this is a decision to you. I want to get in rhythm with God. And so while you think about that, we're going to play a worship song for you to listen to, meditate on, and do business with God over the next few moments, where you can just listen to this in your home, your car, wherever, and just go, okay, God, I need to get in rhythm. I need to get rid. I'm believing you. I'm not coming to you just for my physical needs. I'm coming spiritually. I need to spiritually get in rhythm with you. What are the things in my life I need to correct? And remember, the big question you're going to walk out of here today with is asking somebody that you love and your friends, where in my life do you see me out of rhythm with God?
You're turning over tables and calling for return to our lives upon the altar. The things we did at first, you're clearing out the temple, you're cleaning out the dirt, for we are your territory, Lord, we are your church, we are your people, you are our God, we are your temple, make us holy like you are. You see a holy nation, a flock to consecrate, a chosen generation, a people called to pray. So help us, God, to please you where only you can see. For every moment matters in eternity. We are your people. You are our God. We are your temple. Make us holy like you are. We are your children. You set us apart. God, for your glory, make us holy like you are. Mark your people with your presence. Make us a place where you delight to dwell. May we heed your hand's correction. Oh Lord, our shepherd, you do all things well. Your love as firm as it is tender. Your law is perfect and your judgment's true. As we run to re-surrender, you will restore what we return to you. You are restoring as we we are your people. You are our God. We are your temple. Make us holy like you are. We are your children. You set us apart. God, for your glory, make us holy like you are. Holy, holy, holy is the Lord our God.
That is such a great setup or an answer to a call of worship from a response to what we talked about today. You are the temple. When we believe in and we move in the direction of Jesus, we become the dwelling place, the temple where God resides in us. Hence why we should be more focused on the spiritual things than the physical things. It's something for me to work on, all of us here in the studio work on. This is a daily reminder. This is not easy. I don't wake up every day and go, I'm a spiritual being in a physical world. Woo! I think about my physical needs. I do. That's being human. It's okay. The goal is to become less like that and more, God, what do you want me to do today? On my way to work today. How can I serve? When I'm at my job today, how can I love people and point people to you? How do I parent the way you want me? How do I do life in your rhythm? That's the question. Let me pray for everybody right now. Jesus, we thank you for your truth. We're so grateful that in the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, men recorded your words so we might be able to learn and become more like you. I ask for those of us that are today going, man, I know I'm in a rhythm in this area of my life. May we have the strength to change. As you convict, as you're telling us where we're out of rhythm, may we make a fast change to get into sync with you and change and adjust our lives. If that's financial, if that's relationship, if that's health-wise, if that's spiritual, may we make the correct course adjustments to be in rhythm with you. Because when we are in rhythm with you, Jesus, your burden is light. Thank you for your truth. Thank you that we can become more like you. Jesus, we love you in your name. Amen.
Amen.
We hope you've enjoyed it today.
good.
Boy, the energy level in the studio was all over the place today.
Loved it.
What you get with it a lot. Haley, it's you, man. You brought in the
With a lot of
Vivi.
women.
yeah, you brought in the craziness.
I tipped the scale
You
one
did.
too far.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For sure.
we just learned you can't have 3 ladies on set. That's what we're
No,
looking at.
we for sure can. Let's do it again.
It was too much. I mean, it was too much. We got to have some men in here.
You don't have to be here next time.
Oh, yeah, agree. See what I'm
wow.
saying?
We could do
You
a ladies podcast.
You get 3 ladies in the
Yeah,
room, and look,
and
they're
then-
trying to kick out the guy.
And then we're
Cool.
all like,
Yeah.
We would be pretty directionless for sure.
Well, I'm not saying you need me. I'm just saying this is what happens.
No,
The guy
you
gets
you
booted.
make it.
do a
You
great
make it
job
great.
planning and preparing.
No, you can't backtrack now, Lil. You want me out. I see. All right. I'll come sit over
I
there.
really
You sit
feel
here.
like I have to backpedal now.
No, yeah, you do. Okay, well, since you like
Bye,
talking,
everybody.
will you tell us
Since I like
that
talking.
those that would love to partner with us with the resources, give their tithes and offering here to Unlock Church? We have camps coming up. We're raising resources for that. We have opportunities for people to give in a large capacity. How can they do that here, Lily, to help us do our camps and to give to Unlock Church?
Yes, we make it super easy. You can text the word unlock to 77977, or you can go to unlockchurch.com/give, and you can see what we're up to and how we're using those resources to, again, like Scott said, raise money for those things. And I just think it's super cool because after today's story, I'm kind of like, well, here's what I can give. You know, I'm trying to start looking for opportunities.
Yeah.
Don't grade me, guys.
Well, we won't, but we'll judge you.
The professor might.
That was a joke, everyone. We're not going to judge Lily. We do have a lot going on around here. You can go to unlockchurch.com/connect and sign up for our email list, and then you will get all the upcoming things we have, the dates for our said camps. We have high school, middle school camp in July, working backwards. We have right after Father's Day, we have a kids camp, which we're really excited about. And then we also have, if you go backwards even more, back in May, we have a mission trip, which we would love for you to sign up for. It's down in Arkansas. It's not too late to sign up. It's $350. You are going to have your room and board taken care of. There's a team of us traveling down there. We're going to help, as you can see the image on your screen on the left side.
And Haley and Holly.
We are going to, oh yeah, you girls made
Both
the
of you
picture.
are in
Look
that
at that.
picture.
Railroad
How
ties.
fun.
Haley is in the blue, all the way down to the left, and Holly's just above her in a dirt server hoodie. But
So good.
we serve the great passion play area, and then on the weekend we serve dirt surfers a race. It's a great opportunity to be able to rub shoulders with us, get your flex on, because Haley, I mean, she was jacked after that, lifting railroad ties. This will be your 3rd year in a row doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. The math in her head is...
Well, I can't go this year. That's why I was like,
Well, you could say that.
Oh, okay.
I just am
I thought
always,
it was great, yeah.
I'm always assuming that you're...
If she
If
could
I-
go,
yeah.
yes, it would be her
Yeah.
third.
Yeah, I'm always assuming that you're coming until
I would
I
assume
start
everybody's
otherwise.
coming.
She's my
Yeah.
bunk
We-
buddy, so I'm going to miss you.
Yeah,
No, I'm gonna
Why
miss
wouldn't you
coming.
be coming?
There's finals
Yeah,
week.
I assume everyone in the church is coming until otherwise told.
I love that.
So
Are you
this
going?
is the first time. Yeah. I just thought I'd put a dramatic pause there.
Yeah, that's what I was doing.
Dramatic pause?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
I
welcome.
caught on it. It was dramatic. And
I
got
love
it.
that part of you decided to just say yeah.
No, actually, it was a good leadership.
I didn't know like what you were
Keep it
going for. I was
simple.
just like, yeah,
No,
I'll
it
just
was great,
go
but
with
I
you.
caught the hesitation, so I was like, she's not going.
Yeah, because somebody just clicked the link. Haley's going. I'm going too.
No, she's not. What? I'm not going. No.
Literally
no.
already paid.
Yeah, it's all right. But we would love to have you there with us. Ladies, thanks for being in the studio.
This
It
was
was a
fun.
pleasure.
Let's do it
Haley,
again.
thanks for being with us on a
Thanks for having me.
spontaneous.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared, but it was great.
What do
You
you
were prepared.
if you were let's just end with this though before we final goodbyes. What would you pick for the girl name for Lily and Jordan?
Oh, I mean, I'd pick Haley.
Haley. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Give us.
Elizabeth.
Oh, my middle name's Elizabeth too.
That's a good one.
Wow, look at these two. They're ganging up on you. Wow. What's a good Southern, like strong Southern name that you could give us?
Some like double name. So like,
Maribel.
yeah,
Mary Bell.
Bell. Something with Bell.
I love
Why Bell? Why do they do that?
Southern Belle.
Yeah, maybe. I don't actually know
like
if
I could
that's
tell.
true, but
I was reading between the lines here. Yeah. I have no idea.
B-E-L-L-E.
like Daisy May.
Daisy May.
Daisy May. Oh, I'm here for that
That's
double
pretty
name.
Southern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If she's born in May and it's a flower, Daisy May.
She will not be
That's
born
actually
in
kinda
May.
Well, what if it was Daisy May and then you got Lily the mom and you stick with a flower theme? I like that. I'm here for the flower
are
theme for
going
her.
with the flower theme.
Oh yeah, what is it again?
Iris.
Oh yeah, I forget. Well, honestly, whenever
I don't
do
think
that,
I've said that on here, but that's our
no,
literally
you
our
do. You
only.
correct me. If we could switch the cameras while we're talking, that'd
It's
be
our
great.
only
Keep it entertaining.
option.
It's our only
That's
option.
why you're giving us so many more, which is nice.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the
Iris,
only-
I think of the song every time. Whoop,
Hello.
we went to. I think of Iris the song.
Yeah.
That's
A lot of
every
people
time.
say that. And the only other thing I don't, which I don't mind the song thing, but the only other thing I don't love is every time I hear the word Irish goodbye, I hear her
Do you
name.
think Iris?
Oh, really?
Iris, I don't.
Irish anything,
What about
I hear
Azalea?
Irish.
Irish and Iris.
Azalea.
That sounds stupid.
Magnolia.
But
Begonia.
these girls, you're Googling stuff, aren't you?
Flower-
Get out of here.
flower
Oh my god. Okay, we can do that on our own. Everybody, thanks for being with
Thanks
us on
for the
this
help,
fine
guys.
Sunday where it launched. We're here for you. And so if you got any prayer needs, you can text the church phone number and let us know how we can help pray through things with you. If you are interested in that mission trip, get signed up on our website as well, okay? That's the church number, 651-276-8797, everybody. And the winner of our Easter egg hunt last week, we digitally Easter
Wait
egg
till the end. I love
Yeah. The winner is... We'll tell you next week. No.
it. Don't we have the winner?
We do.
We do.
It's the Quast
How do we
family.
know? Oh,
Melanie Quast. It's not
Good
the
job,
family, it's
Melanie.
Wow.
Melanie got it. She
What's
nailed
the
it.
first?
job.
She was the
says?
first one with the right, answer.
Right phrase.
There we go.
Did you hear this story? In the office this week, somebody emails in and gives their answer.
Yeah.
And they said, he is risen. So I have to double check with Lily. She's the one who put the eggs on there and go,
That's
what?
not the right phrase.
I'm not saying it's the right
Oh, so
phrase.
he did say he is risen?
He had put in, I can't remember now.
Now I'm
But
mixed up.
Yeah, see, this is
I didn't mean to correct you. I thought.
No, this is you're living out what happened in the office, everyone. Micah gave a phrase. I turn around. She's like, wait, is that the phrase? Has to go look. And she's got 7 options of the phrase.
No.
She doesn't even know what the
I
phrase
was
is herself.
confused.
So, yeah, that's my
Wait,
point.
Melanie,
He
maybe you
lives.
didn't-
Oh, she won.
She did
If
win.
it was the
He
third
lives.
option on
He
Lily's
lives.
It's
list.
he lives. Yeah, because there's no V
Because
in
there's
he
some
is
people
risen.
that
I guess-
typed in he's alive, he is living.
Right.
There's
He
some-
had
but
it
it's
right.
lives.
Lily said he had it wrong. Micah had it wrong because she said that's not the phrase.
Yeah, I got
because
mixed
then
up.
she gave a different phrase and I counted it
I
and I
just
was like,
made it up in the
Lily, that's
moment.
like 9 letters.
Yeah.
We only had 7.
I was wrong.
That's what I'm trying to say.
I was wrong in the moment.
Okay, everybody, have
I
a
admit it.
great day. We're out. We'll see you next Sunday. Peace, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.